A lot of people are talking that it's kind of like Wolf Creek here at the moment. Yeah.
If Paddy's been knocked off, if he's been hit and he's out the bush, he'd be gone now because the pigs would eat him.
Oh, I don't know where he is, and I'm not sad that he's gone.
Might be aliens, right? There ain't no fucking aliens that have captured Paddy, and if they had have done, they would have dropped him back by now.
Okay, so we're recording. So can you just give me your name and your job title? Thanks, Barry.
Barry Sharpe and publican. There you go, there you go.
And what do you think happened?
Oh, I'm very convinced that Paddy's met with foul play. When I first came into the pub, it was the Pink Panther was already there, but it wasn't being exploited in any way. So that's when I come up with the idea of painting the building pink and calling it the Pink Panther Hotel, Pink Panther Pub, and it needed to be done because we're situated a little bit off the highway, and at 100 kilometres an hour you don't see the pub sometimes, so we're painted pink, it stares you fair in the face. Well, he used to always have 8 beers, but sometimes he'd have another couple. And I think this day he'd had another couple. And that was it. I thought, oh, well, we'll see him tomorrow. But he never showed up here the next day.
We're treating his disappearance as suspicious. It's completely out of character for Paddy. He's set in his ways. He has a strict routine where he attends the pub, has 8 beers a day and comes home before dark. Based on that and our comprehensive search efforts, we're treating it as suspicious.
Paddy's a good bloke, decent Aussie fella. Come over here from Ireland, as we all know now. Excuse me, cigarette smoke. Mate, he loved this country, he loved this area. He was happy as a pig in shit here. He had everything he ever wanted. He was a man, like, the only thing he wanted apart from what he had was one of them Rolex watches. That's it. And that's all Paddy ever aspired to, apart from what he had. He's a good worker, good, decent, honest bloke. Bit of a shit stirrer, but isn't the average Aussie.
Do you remember that day in particular, and do you remember what his demeanour was like on the day?
I do remember that day. I can't tell you exactly what day it was. I thought it was Friday. The coppers have told us it's Saturday, so okay, that's fair enough. It's pretty much like a time warp for you. Every day's the same, but mate, it was just the same. Happy, content. He was just going to turn up the next day and get the lawnmower, and that's it. Simple as that. So yeah. Like, you know, he had his second last beer and said, as he always done, well, I think I'll have my last supper this time, Richard, which is his last beer, and I think I'm done for this evening. So got on his motorbike with his dog, mate, and floated off home.
Do you think he was heavily intoxicated?
I wouldn't say heavily, no way. No, slight wobbly boot on, but Then again, what is it, 2:30 in the afternoon, and I've got a slight wobbly boot on, so that's not unusual for up here. So, but yeah, no, we keep our shit tight, we always do.
Who was the last person to see him before he went missing through your inquiries?
Our investigations established there was a tourist that was passing through. They had contact with Paddy and actually gave Paddy's dog Kellie a chicken, a cooked chook, and just to give it to the dog for dinner. And that was when Paddy was leaving, just about dusk on the 16th of December 2017. We located that chicken wrapper actually in the premises of Paddy's.
He left the house and there was still things in the house that, like his glasses were on the table. There was a couple of dishes where he'd been eating still on the table, and just by that I see his hat was over on another bench. He obviously hadn't gone to go somewhere. He would have taken those items.
Do you think he's still alive?
No, I'm sure he's not. Just to keep an eye on their eyes.
The physical evidence at the scene is completely undisturbed. So the assessment is he's voluntarily left his residence. The bed was made, he had food on the table, he had dog food for his dog Kellie, he had a calendar that he crossed off each day, and the last date it was crossed off was the 15th. He had a water gauge that he checks in the morning that wasn't checked, and based on that, we're treating it as worst case scenario.
Where'd Paddy come from? Many, many years ago.
He came from Ireland.
That's right. And there were some pretty wild men in Ireland back in them days. The story is it stopped me bait, to tell you the truth. And now I'm ready for that amount of time and never seen him aggressive with anyone. It's just a mystery to me. You know?
We're filming a story about Paddy Moriarty's disappearance. Are you able to have a chat with us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, no worries, thank you. So what do you think happened to him?
Well, someone has killed him, for sure. Well, at first, if he was going somewhere, would have taken his car and his hat. He never went out without his hat.
The key to this is the dog. You know, like, where's the dog? Because the dog hasn't come back, you know. Find Paddy or find the dog, you'd probably find Paddy, we think.
Boys took his dog. This is not a new dog. He had to put the other dog down.
What's the significance that Kellie is also gone?
The significance of Kellie is that we've also found no signs of life for Kellie. If Paddy had met with Miss Devonshire, had gone for a walk, We would be able to find a sign of him or his dog Kellie.
Where is that little bitch? So we really need to find her as well.
It's just too strange. There's 10 people live in this town. 10 people live in this town. To my way of thinking, one of them's a murderer.
Northern Territory Police are concerned for a 70-year-old man who was last seen at an outback pub more than a week ago.
Unfortunately, with the banks, the hospitals, the national databases, we've got no signs of life.
The last confirmed sighting of Paddy Moriarty was at the Larrimah Hotel. Anyone with information should contact police.
First tonight, Northern Territory detectives say a red kelpie is the critical clue that could solve the disappearance of Larrimah man Paddy Moriarty.
Police hold grave fears for his safety and today ramped up their search 500 kilometres south of Darwin.
Larrimah, you need to see it to believe it. And it's not until you get there that you really get a full appreciation. It's a tiny outback town, small number of residents and essentially no technology. People keep to themselves and it's situated right on the Stuart Highway in the middle of nowhere. You can't even pull up and get fuel for your car there. There's no police in Larrimah.
He didn't show up, so I said I'd better go and check on him. I went to his house and I called out and had a walk around, calling out his name. He's there, Paddy, but he wasn't. So I didn't think a lot about it at the time. Left it another day and then come up and said I'd better go and see if he's there. I went through every room and called out his name and he definitely wasn't there, of course. So I didn't ring the police until the next day.
It was 72 hours past before it was reported to police. Paddy doesn't have a computer. He's only got a landline and an answering machine. He's one of the few people that didn't have a smartphone. There's no mobile phone reception in Larrimah and he lives on his own, so there's nobody to corroborate his movements.
Time is a funny thing in Larrimah. A lot of the days are the same for us.
I went up there to get some mail. He said to me, "Oh, how you going, Cookie?" I said, "Oh, not bad, Paddy." And just went in and got me mail and I walked out and I said, "I'll catch you later." And that was the last I seen of him.
So there's about 130 points of interest within the search area. There's some thick grass to get through as well and the temperatures are extremely hot, 40 plus degrees each day.
The dump is a focal point in the community. They don't have bins that get emptied regularly. People go down to the dump and dump their rubbish. They use incinerators at Larrimah, so they burn their stuff and they'll dump it. And unfortunately we didn't locate anything of interest to the investigation.
Is it still a possibility that there could be a sinkhole not visible from above that could have been a place where Mr. Moriarty and his dog have become trapped? What do you know about that?
Possible, but unlikely. Anything is possible, nothing's absolute.
This is the old track that used to go to Western Creek Station. It's pretty ordinary country. It's dry Kaditcha country. It's lots of sinkholes through here, and Aborigines don't really like the country that much. It's a spirit country.
Well, my name Jimmy Wayville. Yes, I'm a traditional owner for Larrimah. Darwin, there's on the countryside, he was talking the wrong way around. That country been sort of kill him, make him get away, out of his mind. And that's why he passed away. And sort of punish him, kill him, do something on him. And yeah, it's a lot of story from dream time. Anything can happen. We don't know.
I've seen through our search there's certain areas prone to sinkholes more than others, and I would suggest that Paddy wouldn't be walking through those areas if he knew about them.
It is unique, just the way he's disappeared. He's gone home, he's obviously gone home. He's been home, the dog's been there with him, it's got all that evidence is there, you know, and he's just walked out the door. That's the last we know of Paddy. It's not the usual case.
Brother, we're coming into town. Hey, we're coming in for a beer. Good boy. Hey.
Well, he's an Irishman. He looked more like an Italian. He had a large moustache, like, you know, you'd see on a spaghetti advertisement or something, you know.
Oh, sure, it's grand. Hey! Ravi, you a big boy.
Yeah, I'm Paddy, yeah, from Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, came out in '66 on the Fair Star.
So you live in Larrimah?
Yep.
How long have you been here?
Oh, I've been here 8 years. I used to live at Daly Waters. I had a base there as well. Yeah. And I was there for another 8 years, and I thought I'd come up here.
How important for your daily life living here was his friendship and his companionship?
Oh, enormous. We used to help each other in all sorts of ways, you know. Yeah, good man.
Paddy's a typical outback Territorian, a unique character and someone you'd never forget if you met him, especially with his dog. He was somewhat of an attraction to Larrimah.
Oh, sure, bottoms up.
He was part of the hotel, like he was the greeter, if you like.
He was the concierge.
Yeah, the concierge. G'day folks, he'd say, and you know, where are you from? And then he might tell one or two of his little stories for me.
Good day for an ALA. Bloody-o.
Things get pretty lively here at times, eh?
Oh, yeah. Oh!
As remote outback bars go, it doesn't get much remoter. The nearest neighbours are over 150 miles away. Out here, nobody can hear you scream. Hey, g'day. How you doing?
There you go.
Hi, fellas.
Hello.
How you doing?
Welcome to Larrimah.
Well, thank you very much.
The Larrimah is like nowhere else I think I've ever been. It's kind of like if you dropped a kind of weird bar in the middle of a post-apocalyptic sort of scenario. I've stayed in a lot of places, in weird places in the world, North Korea, Syria, Congo. The Larrimah is up there on remoteness, weirdness. Who had more words for being drunk, the Brits or the Aussies?
Bring it on, you fuckers. Pissed. Wankered. Off your head. Twatted. Trolled. Nice move. Thrashed. Tatled. Pissed. Off your box. Hammered. Bollock face. Bollock face. Beautiful move, Tiger. Oh, they're stalling.
Yeah, no, I remember Paddy. He was funny. Gruff. He was Irish, I think, originally. And, yeah, it's a real shame.
With our checks with births, deaths and marriages, there's no record in Australia that Paddy has a brother, sister, son or daughter or been married.
What efforts did he go to outside of Australia to try and find out more about who he was and establish his history?
So we have the Australian Federal Police International Liaison Network we can tap into. We lodge birth, deaths and marriages checks with overseas through Interpol. The only confirmed link we've got with Paddy's family was his mum, Mary Teresa Moriarty.
I'm joined again by Anna Henderson, reporter with ABC. That Australian police wanted to get in touch with Paddy's Irish family. Now, off the back of the conversation that you and I had, somebody has been doing some digging and come forward.
Well, that's right, Sean. Some people who heard the interview, and one person in particular, have done some excavating of their family history, and they believe they may be related to Mr. Moriarty, and that he has perhaps over 100 relatives in different parts of the UK and the United States.
We were fortunate enough, through the help of yourself and the media, we actually got volunteer DNA from 2 distant relatives. Unfortunately, as it stands, we can't confirm any link to Paddy.
You've got to find a body, and well, there's 2 bodies, there's a dog and a man, and then where the hell are they? How do you get rid of that?
You put a call out for people to come forward with any information they might have about a dog, whether or not Paddy's dog Kellie might have been dropped to an animal shelter. What has come of that, and has it led anywhere?
I actually received an anonymous letter from someone suggesting I do that, so that led to the call.
At this stage, though, that hasn't come to any conclusion.
To meet Paddy, you wouldn't think he had an enemy in the world. That's what makes it all so unusual. That anybody would want to harm him.
What do you like about living here in this place?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I don't mind it. Good. Yeah. I come up to the pub here and have a good drinks and everything like that. Meet Barry, all the locals, you know. Well, I won't say too much about everyone, but, you know.
Oh, well, let's talk about that a bit. How does everyone get on in this little town?
They don't. No.
He was friends to people in the town and he was enemies to people in the town. And he would speak his mind. If he didn't agree with you, he'd let you know.
Bottoms up.
Oh, you're a grand.
He was Irish guy, and he was just one of those types of bloke. If somebody went up to Paddy and said, the world's shaped like a football, Paddy would believe him. You know what I mean? He was easily sucked in.
I've had trouble with him all along. Big trouble. He started stirring shit around town about what I was doing in the kitchen and how much I was selling my pies for, and oh, it was this and it was that, because he was very jealous, you see, very jealous of what I've got here, and plus the pub, I'm opposition to the pub.
We're treating his disappearance as suspicious, and what I mean by suspicious is that there was third-party intervention in relation to his death and that of Kellie. The current status is it's an unsolved homicide investigation.
I first came through in 1978 when I was hitchhiking up here from Brisbane to Darwin, and kept coming back.
Here we are, Andrew. Here's your favourite drink.
Well, thank you, Fran.
No worries, doll.
I try and get down here 3 times a year just to find out what's happening with the Civil War and who's on whose side.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that too strong?
that's great.
Sure?
Bingo.
Yeah, well, I'll keep you on your toes.
I've been banned from the pub down there that many times, it's not funny.
Why are you banned from the pub?
Oh, well, I got blamed for doing something I never done. I got blamed for pinching Mars bars and I got sugar diabetes. Now, what the bloody hell would I want to pinch Mars bars for? So I got blamed for pinching stuff down there, so I thought, no, jam it. I don't want nothing to do with you, you're a pack of arseholes. So I just left it at that, you know.
When I first came here, it was a very close-knit community. Everybody got along really well. But over time, it drifted away from that for some reason or other. And now we don't really associate like what we used to.
What do you think is at the heart of the disagreements?
A lot of things. A lot of things. And I don't really feel like saying a lot about it. I know why, but I don't really want to say it.
Paddy done a bit of shit there and there, and Fran got pissed off about it. But then again, Fran's a bit of a troublemaker too. Don't worry about that. But she's not a bad person in her own right. But it's just little towns. They're all the same. If it's oh, so and so done this, so and so done that.
It's a factional, fascinating environment, the changing of allegiances.
Paddy didn't really have any enemies. Only one he used to argue with was the lady in the pie shop.
Who is his neighbour?
Who's his neighbour, yeah.
I stay here on my little 4 corners, on my little oasis. Here's the 2 pies for you, darling. I was the first one ever to make pies in the territory. Buffalo, camel, pork. I mince my own meat here. I mince my own pork and chicken.
Fran's had her pies going for 20 years or so.
Now who would like a pie?
Now the pub are making pies, and there's arguments as to who's got the recipe for the famous Larrimah pies. And there are, good assortment of pies, and camel pies and buffalo pies and crocodile pies and everything but dog pies or magpies.
Fran's has got the worst pies, and I fucking tell you that.
The feuding is very colourful. All these petty but very important things in a tiny town in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, there was shit over there. I used to go over there and the dog wouldn't eat me pie. Fran's pies. Yeah, true word. And this has got chunky meat and everything like that here. Yeah, and I tell people, I tell them the truth. Bloody oath. When they pull up at my place up at the road. Yeah, I tell them fair dinkum. Yeah, and that's what happens, and Fran's is the worst gas bagger in town.
I've had trouble with him all along. Big trouble. Like last year I took him to court for poisoning my garden. He threw an old dead kangaroo under my bedroom. I've had so many things and it's all been reported to the police. They got it on record. He started stirring shit around town about what I was doing in the kitchen and how much I was selling my pies for, and oh, it was this and it was that, because he was very jealous, you see, very jealous of what I've got here, and plus the pub, I'm opposition to the pub.
Yeah, I knew he was doing that. Never really took it serious. It was more humorous than anything else. Maybe we should have taken that a bit more serious.
So I stopped him coming here, and that's when all this trouble started. He started pinching umbrellas from here, and damaging me property, and giving me cheek, and telling customers here not to come in, putting broken glass under car wheels, you know, over the parking bay, because he didn't want them parking over there, and they'd pull up over there in front of his place, and he'd tell them not to come in here. Nothing was homemade, and I mean, I'm not rubbishing the man. I'm only telling you, it's all been reported to the police right through.
The disagreements in Larrimah, the feuds as they've been called by some, and the hatreds that exist there have formed part of your investigation. Are they still part of your inquiries, or have you been able to rule them out?
Everything is still on the table. It's an unsolved homicide. Nothing's been ruled out at this stage.
You can go into any roadhouse and buy a pie. There's no claim to saying, oh, well, I sell pies, you can't sell pies. It'd be like saying, I sell soft drinks, so you can't sell soft drinks. You know, that's sort of a bit ridiculous.
Paddy's never been over here and bought a pie. He's never had a pie here. He wouldn't know what my pies taste like.
What do you know about the gardener who lives at the tea house? Do you have any...
Never met him. I wouldn't even know what he looked like. Yeah. I saw him from the waist down once. So I was sitting in a car. All I've heard stories about him, he used to be a tent boxer or something.
Oh, and Laurie has never done an interview with anybody about everything.
Won't.
Why is that?
I don't know, because that's the way he is. I don't know. It's just him. You know, I can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do, you know, and that's his prerogative. I know that he never left here, and I know that he wouldn't hurt anybody like that. I know he's got a temper, but no, I don't know. I really don't know. The forensic mob went through my house. They found nothing. They pumped out my septic. They didn't find anything. They scraped out my incinerators. They didn't find anything. They poked holes in all the garden. They didn't find anything. The detective went in the shed and found a couple of hammers. And of course you find hammers in every shed. And he put the torch on the hacksaw and found blood on it. Of course he said to Owen, is this yours? And Owen said yes, and they took it away. We knew it was turkey, chicken meat. We always cut up our meat for our dogs, you know. We always keep our meat frozen, you know that in the territory. But nothing has been found. It was all put through testing. Everything was negative.
Fran Hodgetts has taken down a sign from outside of Larrimah which had taunted her and advertised Sweeney Todd's pies being sold at her tea house. What investigations did police make about whether or not, in fact, there was any truth to that kind of accusation?
So we've searched the premises that you in question. We've forensically examined the location in question, and there's no evidence to support that theory whatsoever.
Did you actually do any tests on the meat pies?
We've forensically examined the premises, and there's nothing to support that theory whatsoever.
If you think he's been killed, are you feeling safe to remain living here?
Oh, yeah. I've got nowhere else to go at the moment.
I think he's been taken off somewhere. It's my opinion. Either that, well, it's a bad thing to say, but wild pigs. You know, wild pigs, dingoes. If somebody knew what they were doing when they got rid of him, they just feed him to pigs. Of course, pigs don't leave any evidence, so I believe. Crocodiles. There's plenty of places to get rid of a body, isn't there?
Among your responsibilities, you also help feed the animals out the back. Can you give me a sense of what that involves and what kind of animals you're dealing with out there?
A lot of birds, specialised birds. A couple of crocs out there. We've got some pythons, wallabies, emus, which are always fun.
There is a crocodile at the back of the pub. What investigations or what efforts did you go to try and establish whether there was any truth to that?
So we've searched animal enclosures at the back of the pub. We've also inspected Sneeky Sam's enclosure, and there was nothing there to warrant any drastic action to be taken in relation to that.
I don't know where he is. I don't know who done it. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's out hiding, trying to get me into trouble, which entered me mind. I swear on my grandkids, on my life, that I know nothing about it.
It is my pleasure to conduct the auction sale today. The Pink Panther pug is being sold walk in, walk out. What you see is what you get, ladies and gentlemen. The crocodile is a really unique feature. It is one of the most beautifully kept crocodiles.
No more.
Now, how unusual is it for you to sell a piece of real estate with a crocodile thrown in?
Well, this will be the first.
He's a monster. He's a huge crocodile. I've developed a cancer, a prostate cancer.
They're beautiful animals, they really are.
It looks like it's going to be terminal, and I need to. It's too much work here for me now. I can't do it.
From the day Paddy went, it changed everything here, the whole vibe of the whole place. And then the wildlife park going, that was the next step. And then Barry selling up, it'd be the final one.
All this time I'm going through this, I've got breast cancer and didn't even know it. And now it's spread down to the back of my heart, but hopefully the tablets I'm on now, the doctor said could cure it, but maybe, maybe not.
The owner of a local pie shop in the Northern Territory town of Larrimah has denied she had anything to do with the disappearance of Paddy Moriarty. An inquest into the suspected death of the 70-year-old man has examined an apparent ongoing feud between the pair.
Fran, do you know what happened to Paddy?
Now, this is an inquest into the suspected death because at this stage there's no affirmation of this death. We don't have a body. It is likely that someone in Larrimah has evidence that may be helpful in establishing what happened to Paddy. Given the advanced age of many of the residents, and Your Honour will see that shortly, it was considered by Your Honour to hold an inquest at an early date.
Why are all the media here, Carl? If you tell them?
Your Honour, I think they're going to write their book on a bit like Wolf Creek in due course.
Yeah, that's right.
The population of Larrimah hovers around 10, and almost everyone was called to give evidence at the inquest. So it created this really extraordinary situation where all these people had to travel 200 kilometres to Katherine to give evidence in a case, and it was the closest they'd all ever been to each other in a really long time. Bobby Roth gave evidence at the inquest that when she'd worked for Fran in her kitchen, that Fran had often said that she wanted to kill Paddy. She was quite visibly upset when she gave this evidence, and it was something that obviously had sort of played on her mind since Paddy had gone missing. When her husband, Carl Roth, gave evidence, he said that he had also heard Fran say those things, but to him it was nothing serious. There was no intent behind it, and there was never any danger of anything happening.
I could not believe the lies that were told when I heard about what was said, that I'd threatened Paddy and I was going to kill Bill and Paddy. Matter of speech, everybody says it, you know, you say, do that again and I'll kill you, you know, and it's a matter of speech. I couldn't hurt a flea, you know.
Maurice Darby was Fran Hodgetts' former gardener and kitchen hand at the tea house, and he says he left Larrimah and left that position because she had been ripping customers off. He believed that she was buying pies from the supermarket and removing the filling, adding her own fillings, and then charging people $13.50 for a 75-cent pie.
I have never, ever, ever sold a pie for $13 or $14 because I wouldn't be able to sell it that much anyway because people wouldn't buy them. Even if they built a pie factory next to me, it wouldn't worry me because I've got my scones, I've got my cakes, I've got my bread rolls. I don't have to do pies.
It was suggested by a few of the residents at the inquest that Richard Simpson was jealous of Paddy and his kind of run of the bar, that he was sort of an unofficial 2IC. Richard said that that was completely untrue. He said that Paddy was a mate of his and he really enjoyed having him around the pub.
Last time the ABC came here, Richard Simpson was working here and he isn't anymore. What happened there?
Oh, look, it was just a thing that he was starting to drink too much, and some days he would be fairly drunk by about lunchtime, and I had to put a stop to it.
Do you feel that he should be investigated more closely?
I personally don't think he had anything to do with it.
Were any calls made from the Larrimah phone box on the night Paddy Moriarty disappeared?
So, as we heard in the public inquest, at 6:30 and 6:31, 2 calls were attempted from the phone box situated on the Stuart Highway at Larrimah.
The inquest heard that Owen Laurie made 2 phone calls from a phone booth out the front of his house on the night that Paddy was last seen, and they were around the time that Paddy would have been heading back from the pub. In his evidence, Owen said that he did not see Paddy on his quad bike. He didn't even hear the quad bike.
Those calls did not connect. Investigators believe the call was made by the neighbour of Paddy. We also don't believe the calls relate to the disappearance of Paddy.
Owen, do you know what happened to Paddy?
There's no contact.
4 days before Paddy Moriarty went missing, Miss Hodgetts claimed he dragged a dead kangaroo onto her property. The following day, Mr Moriarty and Miss Hodgetts' companion, Owen Laurie, got into a heated argument over their dogs, but Mr Laurie strongly denied there was any aggression. But Miss Hodgetts gave the inquest a different account. Owen said, "There's going to be trouble," and I said, "Don't do anything stupid. I don't want to come back and see you in jail." Mr Laurie also told the court he was joking when he told her, "If anyone touches my plants, it'll be the first murder in Larrimah."
That is a word of mouth, you know, speaking, because I drummed it into him all the time what Paddy done to me, you know, and it was a matter of, okay, if you do it, I'll kill you like that for, you know, but no, he wouldn't hurt a man, he wouldn't hurt anybody or a dog.
There were a number of dogs in Larrimah at the time and they didn't all get along. Is there a possibility that there could have been some problem between the different animals that triggered some problem between the people of Larrimah that led to Paddy Moriarty's disappearance?
Yes, it is possible, and everything is being investigated in relation to who had dogs, where the dogs were at the time of his disappearance, and how they were behaving.
Yeah, we know for a fact that there's a couple of detectives that have actually lost sleep over this.
It's something that completely consumes yourself and also your investigation team. We're forever communicating with one another about bouncing different ideas off each other, running theories by each other, and it's just, we're dedicated to the investigation and trying to establish what's happened.
Rotten piece of shit, you know, rotten to the core, because nobody believes me. I was treated so badly, you know, that some of the detectives were talking to me like if I was an idiot, you know. I'm afraid they got the bull by the horns because I'm not stupid.
Fran Hodgetts has also criticised the police investigation and the way she was treated in the process, and she's criticised your role in questioning her. Are you confident that every step you've taken in this inquiry has been appropriate?
Yes, I am. I need to ask questions of all sorts of people. I need to ask some tough questions at times, and part of that was speaking to Fran and all the other occupants of Larrimah.
Your gardener Owen was questioned quite extensively at the inquest.
But I don't know, I didn't know anything about that.
Do you think that that causes extra problems because he hasn't stepped out to sort of say his part?
Well, it doesn't look good, but I don't know, I really don't know, because I know that he never left here. I can't say because I don't know, I don't have much to do with him, you know. I haven't spoken to him for 3 months now, you know, because he's in the room and he's going to go, you know.
He's in the room just here?
Yeah. And, yeah, I'm going to, you know, ask him to leave. And
I think Larrimah was a place before that no one really cared about. Since Paddy's disappearance, it's really kind of made a name for itself, which is quite sad. They've had journalists from all over the world turning up, knocking on their doors, asking them questions. Tourists ask them questions. Tourists have read about Paddy's disappearance, about the story, and everyone kind of wants to know what happened. Everyone has a theory on the mystery, and that's how they have to live now. They have to live being known as this town where this extraordinary mystery has occurred, and fielding those questions from people who are intrigued.
Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Paddy Moriarty?
No way.
No, I did not.
Do you think there could just be an innocent explanation for this?
No.
The police have already asked me that because I told him how I used to get on with Paddy. I used to get on with him, but he used to get me to the stage where he used to piss me off and I could have grabbed hold of him by the scruff of the neck.
Did you have anything to do with his disappearance?
No, not at all. Why would I?
Sometimes I felt like it, don't worry about that. I'll be honest with you. I felt like breaking the guy's neck sometimes, but it never happened.
I know, and Owen know, we didn't do nothing to Paddy. This should not be happening to me. And me of all people, I can't believe it.
Do police have any suspects at this stage?
As the investigation is ongoing, I can't discuss the specific status of individuals other than to say we have persons of interest. Who those persons of interest are and why they're persons of interest, I cannot discuss during an active investigation.
People loved him. And we still miss him very much.
Absolutely.
No one's found him yet, and I don't think they will. You know, it's just hard to say. It's been going on for years where people have just disappeared off the face of the earth and no one's got an explanation for it.
Somebody knows something, but I don't know nothing.
I think Paddy would be wanting us to continue and to find out exactly what's happened to him.
You think things will settle down here?
Never. Never settle down.
But for all that, you like it here, eh?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It is a true story, and I'm sticking by it, and I'd say the same thing again if I had to say it again. Yeah. True word, folks. Yeah. It's all down, and that's it.
Paddy Moriarty was last seen here at the Pink Panther Hotel in Larrimah on December the 16th, 2017. If you know anything about his disappearance, please call Crime Stoppers.